You ever notice how a hug can feel heavier than words? Like she's saying something you don't fully hear, but your body knows. You feel it in your chest, in your stomach, in the way your pulse jumps. Most men brush it off as casual affection. Or worse, they think it's meaningless. But I'm here to tell you, a woman's hug carries a secret language, one that reveals what she's truly feeling before she ever speaks it. And the truth is, 90% of men never decode it. They walk away missing the messages hidden in those fleeting seconds. A hug is more than skin touching skin. It's intention, desire, and emotion compressed into a single moment. When she hugs you differently, longer than usual, tighter, or lingers at a specific part of your body, she's sending signals your brain might completely ignore if you're not tuned in. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Her hug is a mirror of her internal state. If she's holding back, her arms barely reach around you. If she's vulnerable, she'll press close, resting in your presence like it's the safest place on earth. And if she's deeply attracted, her body will unconsciously lean in, searching for closeness, warmth, a sense of connection she can't yet put into words. Think about the last time she hugged you and held on a second longer than normal. Did you notice a change in pressure in the way her head tilted against your shoulder? That micro moment is a psychological goldmine. Women instinctively communicate trust, comfort, and desire through touch before they even form sentences. But here's the catch. Most men miss it entirely because they treat hugs like a routine greeting, not a conversation. A hug is a language of unspoken truths, a silent confession of what she feels but might never say aloud. And this isn't just about attraction. Her hug can reveal frustration, longing, fear, and even disappointment. Pay attention to the subtle cues, the squeeze, the pull, the release. These small signals tell you whether she's emotionally closing off, seeking reassurance, or silently testing your emotional intelligence. The stronger the connection she feels, the more her body communicates in these tiny, fleeting seconds. Every hug is a test of whether you notice, whether you're present, whether you understand her without her having to spell it out. Most men get caught up in what she says, missing what she shows. That's why some relationships feel like a constant guessing game, because men often misread these silent messages. If you want to truly understand her, you have to learn to read between the lines, to feel with your body, to notice what she can't or won't voice. Her hug is an unfiltered window into her psyche, a window most men glance at but never step through. When you start noticing, really noticing, you'll see patterns emerge, and those patterns will tell you more about her attraction, loyalty, and emotional state than any conversation could. Now, let's break down what her hug really tells you, because there's a method in the way her body moves, even when she thinks you're not noticing. Most men think a hug is just a hug, but in reality, every inch of her body communicates something you're either decoding or completely missing. The pressure, the duration, the way she angles herself, all of it matters. When she leans in fully and presses against you, it's more than comfort. It's trust. It's her saying, I'm letting you in because you're safe. But notice the nuances. If her hug lingers on your chest, it's signaling emotional intimacy. She's gauging whether she feels grounded in your presence. If her hands rest lightly on your shoulders, she's staying cautious, testing the waters of emotional vulnerability. And when her hug tightens just slightly, almost imperceptibly, it's a primal signal of attraction, her body revealing desire before her mind even acknowledges it. Timing is crucial. A hug that's longer than usual is rarely accidental. When she holds you, even for 2 or 3 seconds longer than a typical greeting, her subconscious is telling you she wants closeness. This isn't about obligation, it's about choice. Every second she remains wrapped in your arms, she's deciding if she feels secure, wanted, and connected. Men often think the words she says after a hug matter most, but in reality, the unspoken part, the silent embrace, is where the truth lives. There's also a rhythm to her movement. Some women give a quick, jerky hug. She's distracted, guarded, or emotionally unavailable. Others sway gently, resting her head or chest against yours, which is a subconscious invitation to emotional bonding. The way her hands move, whether they stay on your back, slide down your arms, or hold you just enough to maintain presence, speaks volumes. These micro movements are instinctual. They bypass her conscious mind and tap directly into your perception. Your ability to notice them separates a man who understands women from a man who only thinks he does. And here's the deeper truth most men never realize. Her hug is a reflection of her inner emotional equation. If she's stressed, insecure, or unsure, she may hug tightly but release quickly, creating a push and pull that confuses most men. If she's happy, confident, and emotionally available, she'll give a seamless, warm, and enveloping embrace. The hug becomes a mirror reflecting not just her feelings toward you, but her entire emotional state in that moment. But the most powerful hugs, the ones that can shift a relationship, are the ones where she consciously or unconsciously lets herself feel completely. That's when you'll notice her breathing changes. Her weight leans into you and a quiet stillness settles between you. She's telling you without saying a word that she's present, that she cares, and that she's choosing to connect. If you ignore it, you miss a rare opportunity to truly understand her emotional landscape. If you pay attention, you gain insight into desires, fears, and loyalty that words could never capture. Here's where most men fail. They feel the hug, but they don't respond in a way that matters. You feel her intention, her vulnerability, her desire, but your reaction can either deepen that connection or completely shut it down. Understanding her silent language is only half the battle. The other half is how you meet her in that moment. Your body, your energy, your attention, it all speaks louder than words. The first key is presence. When she hugs you, don't just wrap your arms around her like it's a routine. Feel her. Match her energy. If she leans into you, lean in. If she holds on longer than usual, hold on. Let her feel that you're fully engaged, that you're not just physically there, but emotionally present. A man who's fully present in a hug communicates security, reliability, and emotional intelligence without ever saying a word. That's magnetic to a woman because it tells her her feelings are acknowledged and safe with you. Next, mirror her subtle cues. Her body is already communicating vulnerability, curiosity, and desire. Your subtle adjustments, how you angle yourself, where you place your hands, how you breathe, can amplify that connection. If she tilts her head, tilt yours slightly. If she presses closer, increase the warmth of your embrace. Mirroring isn't about mimicry. It's about creating harmony. When a woman senses that her energy is being reflected and respected, she unconsciously opens up further. That's when attraction deepens, trust solidifies, and intimacy grows even in the absence of words. Then notice the micro pauses, the moments when she tightens, loosens, or lingers. These are emotional signposts. Responding correctly doesn't mean overthinking. It's about gentle acknowledgement, a soft squeeze, a reassuring hand on her back, a subtle shift to hold her closer. These small, intentional responses tell her you're aware of her feelings and that you honor them. It's in these micro moments that the most powerful emotional connections are formed. Most men never grasp this. They let the hug end, never realizing they just passed up a moment to create trust and desire. Another thing to understand, silence in a hug is often louder than words. Don't rush to speak. Don't try to impress. Don't overanalyze. Just be. Your stillness, your calm energy, your grounding presence. These communicate confidence and security. Women feel it instantly. They sense whether they can truly let themselves relax in your arms, and that feeling shapes how they perceive you for the rest of the interaction. A man who understands this doesn't just get hugs. He earns emotional intimacy. Finally, pay attention to the aftermath. How she reacts when the hug ends tells you everything about her emotional state and her perception of you. If she smiles softly, lingers in eye contact, or touches your arm, it's a sign she felt seen, safe, and understood. If she pulls away abruptly, it might indicate hesitation or that she wasn't fully comfortable. A man who reads these signals doesn't just notice attraction, he understands emotional rhythm. He knows how to nurture it, how to respond to subtle shifts, and how to create deeper bonds that most men can only dream of. Now let's pull back the curtain on what most men never see. The hug is more than a fleeting touch. It's a roadmap to her mind, her emotions, and her hidden desires. When you learn to read it, you can predict how she feels, respond in ways that make her feel truly understood, and create a bond that goes beyond words. This is the silent language few men ever learn, but once you do, it changes everything. The first secret is awareness. A woman's hug isn't random. Every micro movement, every pressure, every pause is deliberate, even if unconsciously. If she hugs you tightly and lets go slowly, she's signaling trust and attachment. If her arms barely reach you or she hugs with a quick release, she's signaling caution or hesitation. The difference might be subtle, a fraction of a second, a shift of a shoulder, but it tells you volumes about her emotional state. Men who ignore these signals miss the story she's trying to tell. Next is emotional mirroring. When she hugs you, match her energy without overthinking it. Lean into her intention. Let her feel your presence, your calmness, your stability. If she's anxious, your grounded energy becomes an anchor. If she's excited, your warmth amplifies her emotion. This is not manipulation, it's attunement. Women are wired to sense emotional resonance, and your ability to mirror her energy subtly tells her she's safe, valued, and understood on a level she often doesn't articulate. Another truth is that hugs are a testing ground. She's assessing your attentiveness, your sensitivity, and your emotional intelligence in seconds. Most men fail this test because they're distracted by words, by surface-level attraction, or by impatience. But the man who notices, the one who tunes into duration, pressure, micropauses, and breathing, he passes the test instantly. He communicates without saying a word that he's worthy of her trust, worthy of her attention, and worthy of deeper connection. And here's the part most men don't realize. Her hugs can reveal long-term compatibility. If she consistently seeks closeness, lingers in your embrace, or naturally mirrors your movements, it shows emotional alignment. If she pulls away, avoids eye contact, or hugs, defensively, it signals a misalignment of feelings or comfort. The difference is subtle but powerful. Reading these patterns allows you to understand not just attraction, but emotional truth, what she wants, what she fears, and what she's willing to invest in you. Finally, the hug is your opportunity to respond consciously. This is where mastery comes in. Hold her in a way that conveys security. Mirror her energy, respect the subtle cues, and then release in a way that leaves her feeling valued, seen, and emotionally satisfied. Most men never grasp that the hug is not the end. It's the beginning of emotional dialogue that shapes every interaction afterward. So here's a challenge for you. Think about the last time she hugged you longer than usual, multiply the duration by the intensity you felt in her body, then subtract the moments you weren't present. That number, that's your emotional awareness score. Drop it in the comments and see if you noticed what most men completely miss. Like, subscribe and share this with a friend who needs to finally along.